What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and really happy to be here making some more content for you guys. I think that you guys are going to like this video. So, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, subscribe. Tell me, is the PSA Micro Dagger itself a myth? Have you guys gotten access to it? Every time there's a drop, I try and I fail. It says sold out by the time I get to the drop. It's been driving me crazy. But on top of that, I found this Micro Dagger upper that I really thought looked sick. It looked awesome, and I thought you guys would like the review of it on the channel. So let's get into it. This right here is a Glock 43x / 48 lower. The 43x and the 48 use the exact same lower. The 43 and the 43x use the exact same upper. So there's a lot of switching around you can do. I can throw this on a 43 if I want, and it will be like basically a compensated thin Glock 43x, but the 43 single stack. And this, like I said, on the factory lower. I am running PSA Dagger mags. I have not had a single issue with any of mine. I don't know why that is. They have just ran reliably. I've also had perfect luck with all 8 of my Shield Arms Gen 2 mags, and my Gen 3 has been flawless as well. So I have no complaints when it comes to those, but when it comes to everyday carry the 10-round OEM mag. It's more than enough, especially with how shootable the 43X and the 48 all are. They have super ergonomic, on point. And with how good you can shoot these handguns, there is no need to risk your life over an extra 5 rounds. If you want, throw a base plate on there. That'll be more reliable than aftermarket mags. Now, on top of that, I threw on Handle at Edge series grips. People always ask about the parts on my handguns. That's why I'm going over it. Handle at Edge series, the best grips out there. I also like their Elite series. They both run really well when your hands are sweaty. And they also offer these little pads right here. I love memory pads on handguns. I think they're underrated the way people talk about them. I really like having them, so I put them on there because Glocks don't come with that feature. Invoke slide stop. It is the best slide stop out there in my opinion for everyday carry. It's basically snag free, but has really good texturing when you push upward. As you can see, it has a little flat spot to give it a little stick out angle. So it actually works really well, and it's my favorite slide stop or slide release if you release it that way. I don't. I slingshot it. But I really enjoy it, and it tucks in there really nicely, snag-free. So for the people who accidentally lock their slide back while shooting, this is the way to go. It is Invoke, N-V-O-K-E. And the guy is a great guy, just one guy. I actually talk to him on Instagram every now and then. He makes great parts. They've all been reliable, and I have him on about 5 or 6 Glocks now. Different parts, not just this. He offers great pin kits, takedown levers, all sorts of stuff. He's a genius with this stuff, so shout out to Invoke. Anyways, I got it in camo. It didn't turn out the way I thought it would when I bought it. The picture was a little different. I'll just say that, but it's fine. It still looks really cool. It's optics ready. So I will be putting an optic on this. I'm just waiting on some optics to come in currently for my other 43X build, which will be using the Kaplan manufacturing slide. If you want to check out that video, it's up on the channel. But as you can see, what's interesting about it is it's very similar to the X Macro, right? It still uses the short barrel. So this uses a 43 barrel. So I can take the barrel out of a 43X or the 43 and throw it in here and it'll work. But all your gases come out the top. When it comes to reducing recoil, I would say it's about 20 to 25%, maybe 30% with this upper. Different compensators reduce recoil different ways, different percentages, different angles, and so on, and it all affects it. But in my opinion, this is probably 25%. And so for people who carry a Glock 48, this is about the size of a Glock 48. People who carry a 23 or a 19, it's about the exact same size. This is a Glock 23 on the left. So people who carry those can now carry a thinner version with a great grip angle. This has the best Glock grip angle and the best Glock ergonomics in my opinion. Sorry. I prefer the Glock 19 ergonomics wise. I don't carry it though, it's too big for me. During the winter time though, I will carry larger stuff, so I would definitely carry this. And coming from Palmetto State Armory, I've had nothing but good luck, and I've also had good luck with the slide. I have about 200 rounds through it, not a single issue. But let's get back into that comp. The one downside is if you ever get in a self-defense encounter at nighttime, you're gonna, especially when it's colder out, you're gonna have all these gases that come out and remain. So it might block your target a little bit. And people don't think about that. Yes, you have less recoil, but also, let's say it's a crowded area, that could get a little nerve-wracking. First of all, you want to make sure there's nothing behind the person who's attacking you that you could potentially hit. But I really do like the shootability of this. It is so smooth. I would compare it to shooting a 380. For instance, let's say like a Glock 28. It feels like I'm shooting my 28, that big, heavy 28 and 380. So the recoil is very manageable. I actually would recommend taking this upper, throwing it on your 43x, but swapping out the internals from your OEM slide. I recommend OEM internals and OEM barrels if you're going to be carrying it. There are some brands that I don't mind, like Safari Precision, Storm Lake, KKM Precision, Barstow. They all make great barrels. But if you have the completed Glock upper already, I would just swap out the internals. PSA internals haven't given me a problem, but I'm just always nervous with how cheap the price point is for these parts kits. So that always makes me a little nervous, so it won't hurt to throw all Glock internals up there. Also, I'd swap out the sights. They're not night sights, but they are good sights. They're metal sights. They're squared off. Can you see that square? I'm trying to get it to where you can. And then just a very nice textured rear sight. I really like it. The serrations are great. I mean, they're better than a Glock. And so here's what I mean. That barrel is still very short. So it sits behind the frame when you lock it back. You see that? But then you release, and boom. So you have that extra weight. When you add the extra weight, you're now reducing recoil by about 30-35% from what I felt. And I went back between the Glock 48 upper, because I have a 48 upper, and this, and there was a difference, a decent difference. But compared to the 43 upper, there was a big difference, and I really liked it. Like I said, it is cut for an optic, and it is shorter than the 48. The 48 sticks out about here, about 0.2 inches longer than this upper. So a fifth of an inch, basically. And like I said, swap out your internals, put a Glock barrel in there, and man, is this an awesome carry piece. Carry with Glock mags. I don't carry this, so that's why I have a PSA Dagger in there. It's for testing purposes. But if you have OEM mags and this upper with Glock internals, you're going to have one sweet setup. One awesome setup. You don't need to get the PSA Micro Dagger lower. You might want to, but in my opinion, I just trust Glock. I just trust Glock parts for everyday carry. So if you throw all your upper internals, like I said, and barrel, you're going to be rocking with an awesome setup. And I love this. Personally, I like it better than the X Macro, even with the 10+1 versus the 17+1 that comes with the Macro. I just do. I like the grip angle on this, and I like the ergonomics. They're so on point. The 43X is more ergonomic than the Macro and the XL. 100% in my opinion. But like I said, just my opinion. I may be a Glock fanboy. It is what it is. But I cannot express how sick this setup is. Think about if Glock were to put out an upper like this. The world would go crazy. Now, will Glock do that? Maybe in a couple years from now, but they're always behind a little bit. But it is what it is. Get a Glock lower with the internals in it. Get this upper, and you'll have zero problems, most likely. So far, like I said, don't have the most rounds through it, but I'm going to be testing this thing thoroughly because I love the setup. I'm a big Glock 26, which is right here, a big Glock 27 fan, a big Hellcat fan. I love my P10S. I love subcompacts. This thing shoots better than a subcompact. Less recoil, quicker on target, and like I said, that grip angle I can't rave enough about. In my opinion, lengthwise, maybe a little uncomfortable, but when it's colder out, wintertime, you can throw it at 3 o'clock and be comfortable all day. I absolutely love this setup. The finish isn't the greatest finish, not the best Cerakote, but it's a carry gun. It's going to get beat up, it's going to get gunked up, it's going to get destroyed. Eventually, it'll probably end up looking like this FN 503 that is just dented, worn down, beat up, but it runs. And so, as long as testing goes smoothly like this, I might actually throw it in the carry rotation, which is actually pretty interesting. But it'll only be when I can wear hoodies and coats and stuff like that, because I have a hard time concealing this part of the firearm. I have no problem with width. For me, it's the length of the grip. But man, is this thing sick. I love it. I can't say enough about it. I love it. It is a shooter for sure. And like I said, 10+1 is enough for anything. Now, the upper I've been running on this 43X that I have in front of you is absolutely sick. I'll show you it in a second. Just got to get this upper off. Okay. It's actually giving me some problems getting it off. I don't know what that's about. I think the guide rod just came out of place, so my bad on that. But it does come with a nice metal guide rod. It's still captured spring and all. But my 43X setup is currently this. Kaplan Manufacturing, an awesome slide. I mean, this thing's sick. You get a ported barrel for it. The thing is just amazing looking. I'm waiting on my optic. That's why I took the plate off. Just waiting. But absolutely sweet. But when you compare the two uppers, you notice the recoil right away. You notice the muzzle flip is still a little bit more than a 43X. But recoil wise, you're right back on target. It's not bad. It's actually a really nice setup. So me, I normally don't rave about the 43X or the 48, but this setup is sick. Absolutely sick. I carry my 27 with the flush mag, that's 9+1. I carry my CZP-10M, that's 7+1. So when you give me 10+1, I'm more than fine with it. Like I said, the shootability is what really makes the 43X what it is. It's not the capacity, but it's the feeling of it, the way it feels in your hand, and the overall shootability. You throw an upper like this on it, you're golden. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop the comments down below. It all helps the channel. Subscribe. Thanks for watching.